the Great American Eclipse. I know, look at the faces. Look at the heads shaking. Just a quick show of hands. How many of you know if your business is going to actually be closed the day of the eclipse? By a show of hands. A few? Okay, yeah, sure. I see we're going to have to keep him in line already. Well, we're delighted to have you here. This will be an interactive evening. It'll start off with a fantastic presentation that my co-moderator will tell you a little bit about to get us kicked off. But to do that, I'd like to thank a few folks. Not only do we have our monthly What's Brewing forums here in the wonderful, beautiful tap room of Deschutes Brewery with a tasty beverage. How about a round for that? But they're brought to you, I think, really reasonably, both as members and community members, if you notice, courtesy of Miller Lumber, SunWest Builders, and our various partners that you see on our program. We're very delighted with Zolo Media, Bentel, and others that all help us bring this together. How about a round of applause for all our partners? And then today, I had something really unique. So the Programs Committee from City Club. How many of you here are City Club members? Real quick. Yeah, way to represent. That's awesome. And then how many of you here are Ben Chamber members? Oh, yeah. How many of you are both? That's what I figured. That's awesome. How many just from the community? Just heard about it and decided to show up. That's fantastic. That's what we hope for. That's what we want for you. And so with that in mind, something really cool happened. Our two organizations came together. We have this wonderful program called Leadership Bend. Any Leadership Bend alumni in the room? Yeah! Woohoo! Exactly. Well, my co-moderator and some of the programs committee happen to be some Leadership Bend graduates who now serve on City Club's board. I want to really honor the programs committee that helped put this together. Ann Oren, you were fantastic. You got the guy that we really need to know where he is the day of, and many other parts. Derek, of course, Diane, and myself. And then what kicked out of it is I sat at a board meeting. Derek said, I really think we need to cover this whole eclipse thing. And he was just adamant. And finally I just said, well, we can partner up and we can do it. And he has ran with it ever since. So here's this young gentleman, young family man in town who decided this was going to be very important to all of you, partnered up, took the reins, I've drug him around to radio interviews. I don't think he slept for about a week, all kinds of things. And now he's stepping up to co-moderate. So as the branch manager here at the Loan Depot and a very responsible, courteous, kind, professional human being, please help me welcome Derek Bickle as our first co-moderator.
That was quite the introduction. You know, when this started, I was thinking we want to pull the experts and bring them to the community. And so I'm really excited to introduce our panelists because they really are the experts here. I'll introduce all of them. We have, first of all, the Director of Space Education at the Oregon Museum of Science and Industry coming down to us from Portland, Jim Todd.
Ozzy. That was all you, Derek. We found Jim Todd. He brought Ozzy to us. Yeah.
So next, we're going to have the emergency manager from Deschutes County Sheriff's Office, Sergeant Nathan Garvey.
Yes, way to go, Sergeant.
And there's been a lot of coordination with the different agencies, and of course this event is unlike really what we've seen. So he'll go into the details of that and how we can make this a very safe event for everyone. And then your insider's track for this event from Christine McConnell of the Central Oregon Visitors Association, giving us the information on where you can still, resources for viewing and tips for making this, again, a very safe and the best experience possible. So, Jim, if you could start us off with a little bit of, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Jim, tell us please a little bit, why is this such a big event? Why are people traveling so far for this? And what's a little bit of the science behind it?
Well, generally what I would say that it's contagious and it's infectious because people have seen it before, they want to see it again. And those who've not seen it want to see this because everybody's talking about it. It's a rare event. And some of us might remember the one in 1979, February 26th, me included. Okay? And so it was overcast. And I went out to go to there, was able to see that event, and it was quite remarkable. Okay? And I've been looking forward to this ever since 1979. There's been a lot of other events, but this is a rarity where we have a totality in our own backyard. Now, after this year, there won't be another one for 154 years. Okay? So that's a long time to wait for the next one. Okay? And it's happening in the month of August. So there's a good opportunity that we're going to have beautiful skies, and we'll have the opportunity of a lifetime. And so people are talking about it. They really are. And that's why I say it's contagious and infectious, and people are getting very, very excited about this event. So without saying, it's just it's one of those that you must see if you have that opportunity, because this is an opportunity of a lifetime. It really is. So this is what it's all about, where we have the disk of the moon is larger than the disk of the sun. Okay? And I call this a perfect marriage. Okay? Where we have a wedding day, we have the moon and the sun coming together, and it creates this totality. The moon is close enough to the earth to create this event, and all of this excitement that you see and hear about for the 2-minute totality. What's all the excitement? What's the big deal? Well, it's rare and it's spectacular. And for those of those who've never seen it before, say, oh, so what? And those who've seen it say, you really got to see this. Okay? And so that kind of thing is happening. So when we have a totality, you see the corona, and the sky goes dark. Okay? It's a romantic event, scientific event. It's really inspiring, and it's a spiritual event for the humans. Okay? You're going to get profound effect from just watching the totality. Okay? People are talking about, oh my God, I want to see this. Okay? But you have to be there to see it. It's a rare event. It happens every year, but you have to be in the path, be able to see the totality. So basically, in a nutshell, what we have is the Earth and the Moon lining up in a perfect position. Right? And so because of that, the Moon is going to move in front of the Sun, and we have this thing where we have the dark shadow of the Moon called the umbra, which is the darkest shadow, the very narrow one. That is the totality. Where the outer edge is the penumbra, okay? The huge shadow. Right? Next slide. It only happens on a new moon, by the way. Only on a new moon. And so what's happening on that day, there's a huge shadow. We see that very dark band, and that's the umbra, that's the path of totality. Oregon is going to be first. It's going to be the first contact, the first view of the total eclipse before the rest of the nation. How cool is that? Okay? And then we go to 14 states. Okay, and then up in Carolina. It's only going to take 9 minutes for the path to cross the state of Oregon alone. 9 minutes. It's traveling at 2,100 miles per hour. It's only about 62 miles wide. Okay? But from coast to coast, it's only going to take 90 minutes to go from Oregon to Carolina. So don't even think about watching a movie that day. Okay? And so another thing too, which is spectacular, the entire United States is going to be able to watch the eclipse. The entire United States. In fact, the entire North America, South America, Africa, Europe, and Iceland. Okay? That huge shadow, the outer shadow, penumbra, is covering 5 continents. But the totality itself is only going through 14 states. The last time we had this was in 1918. That went across the United States. Now, what about 1979? Well, it went through the Pacific Northwest and up into Canada. That was not considered to be the American eclipse. That was the Northwest eclipse. Okay? So again, this is a rare event, and this is an opportunity that's happening right before us. Okay, so it's all about being in the center line. Okay? Outside of that, it becomes a partial. The further away you move from that center line, the less of the coverage that you'll see of the sun. Okay? So you can see it goes all the way out to the Panama Canal, all the way up to the Arctic Circle. Okay? So the further away you move, the less you see of the eclipse. Okay, so here's the totality. Now, this is a 2.5 hour event. 1 hour, 15 minutes before totality, and 1 hour, 15 minutes after. And then in the middle is the totality that lasts only for 2 minutes. Okay? There's been a lot of questions, how should I view this eclipse? Well, for the first hour and 15 minutes, you must have your solar viewing glasses, to which everybody should pick up before you leave tonight. Okay? You must wear them.
Did everybody get their free pair? You got a free pair along with your tasty beverage in the room, just making sure.
Okay. So it's very, very important to have these on. Okay? And then we have the 2 minute totality. This is the only time that you can take your glasses off. Okay? Because if you leave them on, you're going to miss the totality. So it's very important. You see the corona, you take your glasses off, but make sure you time it for 2 minutes. As soon as you see the glimmer of the sun come back, put them back on. Okay, put them back on. It's very important to educate the children to make sure they understand what's happening. Okay, because for all of them, this is their first experience. Right? And so it's very, very important that they understand that. So the rule of thumb is, for the totality, wear your glasses except for the 2 minutes. But for the partial, you need to wear it for all of the 2.5 hour event. Okay, so it's very important you have these glasses, now which you can pick up. Make sure they're certified. There's a lot of talk about counterfeits glasses out there, which is very sad. Okay? Why you want to sell these counterfeit glasses to hurt a child's eye permanently? Okay? You cannot fix it. Okay? So make sure to have the ISO marking on them. Now, the counterfeiters have been able to make a copy of the logo, which is pretty easy. But you need to know your supplier. There are basic suppliers like Rainbow Symphony, Thousand Oaks, Paper Optics, and TSC 17. Know your supplier and know who's selling them or giving them away. Right? Don't take it from a third hand. Right? It's very, very important. And also, when you have these solar viewing glasses, there's no holes, no scratches, no damage. If they are, throw them away. Okay? And after 2017, you can use them again for the future as long as you protect them, don't put any scratches on them. And they're not a one-time event. You can use them again and again. Okay? They come in plastic form and card form, which I like because it provides a shield around the glass, especially for children. And it covers their face. Where with these glasses, what's the children going to do? They're going to try and look around the edge and go, oh, what am I looking at? What am I looking at? Okay? So it only takes 10 seconds to damage your eye. And you can damage it permanently. Okay, so know your supplier, make sure to have the marking, and also, really, it's one of those things that only you can prevent forest fire. Only you can prevent eye damage. Okay? If you point out to each other, you see somebody looking out the sun. Point them out and say, hey, you have your filter? Sure yours for a minute. Okay? But make sure you point it out. Sunglasses will not work. Absolutely not. Don't even try. Next slide. This is a non-direct method. Okay? You can stand under a tree. You get a silhouette of the sun on the ground. You can make a cross with your hand to make a natural pinhole. Pinhole projection. Welding viewing glass number 14. Only 14. But I've been told there's a nitrogen version of this that will not work. Okay? Sun spotters, filters for the telescope. These are the non-direct method. And they're very safe, but this, the one on the pinhole with the trees, you're going to see them everywhere. People are going to take pictures on that, on the ground. So 3 things you want to keep in mind, okay, what Christine's going to talk about. You have 3 things: weather, mobility, and flexibility is everything. And we're expecting 1 million people to come to the state of Oregon alone. Okay? We've been talking about it for the last 2 years in the emergency management team. And we're aware the volume of people coming to Oregon. And we have to be ready, and I think we are. Okay? Thanks to Nathan and team and the rest of the state, they have a big job. Okay? So we're trying to keep everybody safe. We want everybody to have a good experience while they're in Oregon. We really do. And we don't want them to go away thinking, oh my gosh, that was terrible, the traffic was terrible, and all of that. Okay, some things we can't control. And the weather, okay, the weather can be iffy. And we're crossing our fingers, it'll be crystal clear on that day.
History shows.
So Oregon is highly advertised as the best place with clear weather. Okay? And you've heard about it over and over again. Madras is #1 on the list of all cities across the nation having the best chance of clear weather. Okay? Not too far behind is the Willamette Valley, Salem. Okay? So Central Oregon and Willamette Valley have the best chance of clear weather. And because it happened in the morning, from 9:06 to about 11:30, give or take some, and about 10:18 is the totality. So for us, it's good it's happening in the morning. Okay? But at the coast, what usually showed up in the morning? Yeah. Okay, so there might be some fog at the coast. Quite frankly, I wouldn't want to be on Highway 101. Okay? Because if it is foggy, what are people going to do? Go east. And if it's cloudy in the Willamette Valley, go east. Everybody's going to end up in Madras. Half of the world is going to be in Madras. Okay?
We do have the Madras exec
That's
here
what we're
to
trying to keep
handle
up
that.
with. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So Madras, of course, you know all about this. You have the best chance of clear weather. There's high expectation there will be clear weather in Madras on that day. For the rest of the nation, we have the clouds and the rain and the thunderstorms and what have you. I think we have the best shot. We're the first. We also have the best weather. We don't have the duration, but we have the best shot viewing the eclipse. And there's going to be a national exposure, no question asked. That's going to be, Oregon is going to be exposed naturally for this event. And of course, we talked about it. This is what's the scary part. Is that we're expecting 1 million visitors to come to the state of Oregon. And that's what this indicates here, 27 million. No, we're not having 27 million coming to the state. It's how many people have access to population of the freeways and the roads, all the way down to California, all the way up to Washington, which Christine will talk about in just a minute. And so there's a lot of people coming, and they're coming to the center line. This is what happened during totality. If you've never seen a total solar eclipse, we have what's called the eerie twilight. And what that means is the moon's shadow is directly over you. The moon's shadow touching you. Okay? How cool is that? And you have 360-degree twilight, and it's only lasts for 2 minutes. You'll see the change in color. The reason it's a change in color is the sunlight is no longer scattered into the blue light, making that blue sky. Okay? All of a sudden, you have the moon's shadow right over you. And this is what you're going to see. You're going to see the night sky. Okay? You're going to see the eclipse with Mercury below it, the sun, Mars, Venus to the upper right, and constellation of Orion, Sirius, and maybe you'll see a Perseid meteor shower. Maybe. How cool. Okay? So this will be happening if the sky is clear. Okay? If the sky is clear. But this will happen for 2 minutes. And this is the time where people should be cheering, jumping up and down, applying, crime. This is the profound effect. People all of a sudden can look up and you're looking at the sky above you. And you're going to see, no question to ask. You'll see the corona, which means the crown. So that would mean the crown. It's around the sun. That's the only way you can see the crown, is when it's blocked. And then to the lower right is the star Regulus, the heart of Leo. And you're going to see millions of pictures coming out of social media. Okay? But quite likely, your phones will not work that day. This will not. Is everybody trying to get access, chatting or texting or whatever. It's going to be overwhelmed, which somewhat is concern for the emergency management team or all the agency not being able to make an emergency call. Okay? But without question, there'll be pictures everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the partial. You live in Bend, Eugene, Portland, and so on. You're going to get a partial eclipse. It's so spectacular. It's so worth seeing. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Okay. This is a map that you must get access to and bookmark. It's a very long address. So the best thing you can do is to Google 2017 Total Eclipse Interactive Google Map. Okay? It will get you to this map. It's like Google, but you can zoom in, click on it, and you can get really good detail of wherever location that you're going to view from. Okay? Including like this. This is Portland. You click on a property even, it tells you the details of the start time, the maximum, the last contact, the speed of the shadow, everything that you need to know right at your fingertips. So you can see why this is useful. Okay? If any question. Okay, next slide. And the details are right here. Okay? So you have the start of the partial, the maximum, and so on. You have to convert the universal time. And then you see the size of the shadow, and so on. It's very, very useful map. Mark it and take a look at it before August 21st. Okay. So here's the state of Oregon. Here's the path of totality. The red line at the top is the northern limit, and the red line at the bottom is the southern limit. That blue line is the center of totality. So what happened at the start, that the moon's shadow, or the duration that is, will only be about 1 minute and 59 seconds. But by the time you get to the Idaho border, it'll be 2 minutes and 10 seconds. And as it goes towards the center of the Midwest, you get, the duration gets longer and longer and longer. Outside of that, the percentage is 99%, 98%, 91%. That's the partial, how much of the sun is blocked by the moon. Okay? So you can see that, and the next slide, closer to home. There's Madras. Madras is just south of the center line. Okay? This great location. Okay? And then Bend is outside the path. Redmond is at 99.99996. Okay? What that means is it's called a hybrid. The hybrid meaning you're going to get a little bit of totality and a little bit of partial. Okay?
Apropos.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So people say, so how far I have to go north to see the path of totality? We tell them go to Redmond. But Redmond, even then, the totality will only last for 30 seconds. Okay? So you got to get close as you can to the certain line to get the maximum 2 minutes. And then south of that, it's about Moppin. Moppin is about the northern limit. Okay? So on the other side of there, you see the duration. Bend is 99%, Sun River is 98%, and then you can see Redmond is about 15 seconds totality. Camp Sherman, a minute, 38 seconds. All of that information can be found on that map I just showed you. Okay, next slide. Great resource. If you are doing that, an event at your location, go to the NASA website. They have all of downloadable, the video, the slides, everything that you need for your event. So I encourage you to take a look at this site. Next slide. Okay? And That's it. Enjoy the eclipse, everybody, and because it won't happen again.
Thank you. We'll come to questions. We'll get through all three of our presenters and come to questions at the end. Now, how about another round of applause? Great research, Derek, finding him and bringing him to us. Thank you. All right, so Sergeant Garrity, we thought it might be good now to understand why we want to prepare for all this beautiful, wonderful why, and what we're doing here locally, and what you've been up to all this time.
Well, thank you. So, it's hard to hear yourself on the microphone. So good evening. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. I think if you were to consult with my counterparts in Kirk and Jefferson particularly, but many of them around the state of Oregon, they would probably tell you that we have been talking about this for at least 2 years. Mark Carmen, my counterpart in Madras or Jefferson County, has actually, every presentation he does, he gives the date or a number of days that he's been working on this, and I think he's around 850 days on the presentation. So there's a lot of work involved in this. Fortunately, we live in a community and a region that is known for our collaboration and our degree of coordination that is, I would venture to say, almost unheard of across the country. And I'd like to put out a little shout out. I'm probably going to miss somebody, but we have representatives from the Red Cross here, Cindy and Elena, and from City of Bend are just a couple of the partners that we've been working on this. I would say that we're routinely at least 25 different agencies meeting, and that's just on the response side of it. That doesn't take into account all of the non-governmental entities and the chambers and economic development organizations that also have a real important hand in this to make sure that people can enjoy this event safely, and then also possibly even benefit from this event. So what we are doing in Central Oregon is rather unique. We have stood up an organization that spans the the tri-county region, Deschutes, Jefferson counties, and we are organizing this event, or this management of the fallout of this event. And hopefully most of it is positive, but undoubtedly with the number of people coming to our community, that will strain our resources. Our community is predicated, most of the services are predicated on kind of a finite amount of people that we normally serve. Fortunately in Deschutes County, particularly with this event, our community is based on, we have a large amount of tourism and population that come in routinely, so this is not something that's completely foreign to us. But some of the counties that we're supporting do not see the numbers that we do on a regular basis, and so this will certainly strain their resources. From a coordination standpoint, we are supporting law enforcement, fire, public works, health and emergency medical services, and delivery of those services across the three-county region. We're also supporting Wheeler, Grant, Gillum, and Harney counties on